it allowed me to gather all my information and apply it and then just build and then become better. And then I started looking at people like you, studying what you're doing as I build out this platform, studying people like you, study what CNBC doing, studying people who are operating at a high level and saying what I know is nothing and being better than who I was yesterday. Like, how do I be better than a trap from yesterday? What did I do? And I do this every day now. I've been doing this for the last 90 days. At the end of my day, I analyze what I did in that day. How much did I do that helped me? What did I do that didn't tell me go nowhere? And then how do I get up the next day and attack full throttle? And then I came up with fail. Fear always interrupts legacy. Fail. Be willing to do it. Be willing to get past the fear, because the fear interrupts the legacy that you're trying to build, that you're going after. And so if I'm going after legacy, I got to do more than be consistent. We talked about this earlier. I got to do more than be consistent. That is part of the equation. But in the consistency, how do I keep growing? How do I stay motivated? And what are those tweaks that I have to make along the way? I can't make those decisions if I'm always looking at everybody else. And so I've learned to be like, all right, this is how we operate. High octane, high level, 93. This is what we doing every day. And so now, not just being a great communicator, but building wealth for my family, mastering the markets. Like, in my mind, I read a thing that Warren Buffett said, he reads 500 pages a day. That pisses me off because after about 30 pages, I go to sleep, right? I get tired. I'm like, how does he do it, right? So he's listening to Audible books. So now that's the challenge, because he's the apex investor, right? He's the apex investor to me. Like, he is top of the food chain in what I'm loving to do. I love the stock market. So if he's apex and he does this, it shows that I have a lot of stuff to grow toward, right? Because he's 90 something years old and he's still learning. Again, we go back to information, right? He's accomplished something that most people would never. He's the richest man in the world at one point in his life, right? How that means at 40 years old, I have a whole bunch of learning to do. And so I become the learning machine. How can I read as many books as I can to become better? How can I easily become comfortable with what I learn and invest in? Like, we've done great things. We've taught a lot of people, but how do we get better? And if we focus on getting better every day, the compound effect, how do I not only compound my wealth, but how do I compound the information? How do I compound my growth? Because who I am right now is a compound effect of what I was 3, 4, 5 years ago. And everybody needs to understand that. Who you are now is not because of the decision you made yesterday. These are compounded decisions that you've made that evolved in what you are right now. And so now I want to compound. What do I compound into the future? How do I compound the best version of me in the next 3 years, 5 years? How I become the apex track? How do I do that? Like, that's the goal. That's what we shooting and aiming for. And then how do we impact as many people as we can? How do I go in every hood? How do I go in every ghetto? How do I go in every prison system and say, yep, I was homeless too, family. Yep, I got shot too, family. Yep, I went to prison for attempted murder, armed robbery, family. Yep, but guess what I did? I learned how to play the market. It's the best game you can ever learn, because it don't care what color you is. It don't care about none of the excuses. Don't care if you got 3 felonies. Don't care if you got 2 felonies. It don't care what you got. Can you play the game? And if you can play the game at a high level, the return on investment is infinite. And if we can play that like that, and if I can do that, and if I can keep being that person that people see and be like, yep, he did it. He relatable. So he talk about stocks, but he do it in a hoodie, he do it in a t-shirt, he do it with the sunglasses on, he talking in a way that we can understand it, then I could do it too. And that's representation. That's me being the best version of myself. That's me showing that wealth is attainable, 1 share at a time. Why? 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 shares become 8 shares, 8 shares become 16 shares. People don't invest in the stock market because they don't feel like they got enough money. That's why my mantra is 1 share at a time, right? And from that, it becomes attainable. People don't want to go after wealth because they feel like it ain't fun. The belief system. We talked about the financial trauma. What are the beliefs that you anchor to that keep you from moving forward? How do we cut those beliefs? How do we unanchor ourselves from the lack or the scarcity? How do we unanchor ourselves from that? When we got people in this world worth billions of dollars, that means the money is there. They got information. They got structure. They got community, right? When I look at you, I look at your team, you got people around. You ain't just building this by yourself, and I'm pretty sure you thankful for them all the time.
More than you know.
All the
I'm becoming
time.
more and more obsessed with this.
Yeah.
So look, I've built things in my life, and so I know the power of people. But the longer I stay in the game, the more I'm just like, dude, the amount that you can do by yourself is amazing. It'll
Right.
startle you.
Right.
But
Right.
as you get into real scale, you realize, wow, the amount I can do by myself is really paltry compared to what I really want to do. And it really does come down to people. Like, how awesome are your people? And this is the hard part, man. I love to see people succeed. But the problem is that leaves me open to creating space for B and C players
Yep.
to make me feel like they're
Yep.
gonna make it, they're gonna change.
Yep.
And then I'm fatiguing myself
Yes.
by carrying them. And that's hard. That's hard. Because it's like, damn, you don't want people acting out of fear. You don't want them being, thinking that you want them to